Reading. Lots and lots of reading. This is a faithful rendition of Resident Evil 2 using Java with the potential to run on a potato, and even though the ambience is well remixed, you'll do well to keep your expectations low since this is the only track in the entire game aside from the battle theme. Also, how is this scary? You're telling me they couldn't replicate darkness by adding a faded spotlight overlay in front of the character, limiting view in order to create some semblance of fear? Has anyone ever decided to tell scary campfire stories in broad daylight? Because that's what this is. A terrible decision. Also, why is there an accuracy meter? How do you even miss when the game forces you in this dueling stance? Maybe they realized how bored one proud owner of a Samsung Galaxy might be. Considering the game is not canon, I wonder why Capcom has not made the game confidential. How is it even possible to have a game that has less play than Corpse Party? And even with the very little that there is, Capcom still manages to remove content in the form of this merchant. Why bats? Bats are some of the least frightening enemies in any video game. There is only one game bats should be an enemy in. Castlevania. Don't you love characters that never come back? Good, because neither does the plot. A rather well done port of the original game. Except for the part where you can kill any minor enemy in one hit with your knife. I mean, is he wielding a blade or swinging a lightsaber? The story for this game is actually quite good. It's something that one would expect from a full-fledged Resident Evil game. We have BOWs with camo options, characters returning from other games working together, and interesting original settings. So instead of using those ideas to make a full-fledged title, they instead take ideas and plot elements from this game and put them in Resident Evil Dead Aim, Resident Evil Revelations 2, and Resident Evil 4, which still has a worse story than this game. How could they use a story like this for a Game Boy game? I know I shouldn't expect much from a Game Boy game, but what is this? Resident Evil zombie execution simulations? How could they mess up something as simple as shooting a zombie? If you're of the opinion that this game failed due to the time when it was released, let me remind you of how wonderful Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil Resistance are. By far one of the best intros to a Resident Evil game. Great choreography, great tone, and great CGI, at least for the time. What? Expecting more? It's a survival game in real time with various scenarios that give even die-hard fans
confusion of the highest order.
Title of the game unwittingly misleads the player on the handling of in-game weaponry.
Raccoon City.
This accent, this tone, and this man need to be fired.
A Midwestern town in the United States.
Why is it always a Midwestern town in the United States? They couldn't narrow the geographic location to a single state? Imagine someone wants to visit your home and when they ask for your address, you say California.
Why you American spies choose to use such ugly guns?
For a second, I honestly thought I was watching some bootleg version of Resident Evil Dead Aim because of this terrible CG, subtitles that don't match the audio, and the fact that a man's voice is coming out of what I assumed was a woman.
Morpheus.
In ancient Greek beliefs, Morpheus was the primordial god of dreams. He could appear to mortals in any form in their dreams. So why did they name this guy Morpheus? Go ask the developers. Well, at least this shot looks better in Resident Evil 4. This is remarkably little damage for a grenade. Did they throw an explosive or detonate fireworks? What? Is it that problematic to show the player how he got to that hallway? Like, did he just teleport in like Mega Man?
You're Chinese Security Bureau, huh?
She looks Chinese, so she's automatically from the Chinese Security Bureau.
What's your name?
A brain-dead Twitter mob reaction would be most anticipated here. The hell? Why did he stop? Was there a sound? A premonition maybe? Or was he just zoning out? Did a bird hit the window? Like, show a reason for why he stopped. Even campiness has its limits. And then this hand cops a feel and books it. Also that Mei Ling's accent can make off with this dog liver only for Rodeo Jackson to teleport in like Mega Man.
A scared little rat with an ugly, useless gun.
Morpheus?
The Umbrella viruses can now gender bend one as well. Or was Morpheus a woman all along? You know what? I don't even care. He'll probably turn into a blob later on anyway.
before you said Donghua. What does that mean?
It means you are cool.
What's so cool about getting thrashed in every scene he's in?
I'll distract the monster while you run after Morpheus.
Got it.
What's the point of running after Morpheus after running away from him? This makes zero sense. None of these scenes connect in any meaningful way. This is Devil May Cry 2 levels of writing. Why would both the Chinese and the US only send one person to deal with a terrorist threat? Did the other members drown on the way here, or are they still swimming? Why does this game constantly cut tidbits of content in various cutscenes? It's almost like they wanted to get to the point as fast as possible without any build-up whatsoever. This scene from Resident Evil 4 sums up this game perfectly.
Hey, señorita, got a light and some smokes to go with it to make my day?
Where's the sample?
Okay, we skip the foreplay.
Then you have scenes like this that don't have any point at all. Oh my gosh, save me, my feet are glued to the floor for some reason.
I'm a Donghua after all.
Because his southern accent gives him powers of detection that only technology and good writing would have. How did this guy survive an elevator fall? Even the elevator doesn't look remotely damaged. Guess the only thing really broken in this game is the aiming system. What the hell is up with this freaking seizure? How does Morpho Blob fit through these narrow corridors? So the missiles with the virus also exploded, right? We're gonna have quite a few super sharks after this. Nice! Let's use an Indian man and a Western woman to voice a Western man and a Chinese lady. Ostrich beer. Was this boy hanging off the helicopter long? The dude doesn't even look like he was struggling at all. And how did he cause that much damage with a handgun? This opening scene is an example of how to survive airborne vehicle fatalities. Or an example of lazy writing.
Where am I? Oh! I don't remember anything.
What is the point of the text when he just states that fact anyway? So I can give a reading sin? Is this an example of how lousy item placement is going to be in this game? Because if so, also this rusted key can open up the door to a restaurant, a movie theater, or the church. Should I explain how ludicrous that sounds, or just assume that these are the same developers for Devil May Cry 2?
Vincent.
Who is this? Vincent? Who's that?
It's the poor storytelling MacGuffin that only provides exposition to any soul that was unfortunate enough to buy this game. We've used a rusted key to open a door, and now we've used a cracked key. Next we will use a broken key to open a door, closely followed by our hero's malarkey. Why put a key in the MRI machine? Who would ever think to look for a key there? To prove that they're as dumb as the idiot that put it there?
Hello? Can you hear me? Who are you? What are you doing? Answer me!
And he lost interest as fast as the average viewer of a CW show.
Stop it! Let me go!
Shh! Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. What is the tape you're listening to?
I don't know. I was only listening to it because I'm so bored.
Does this tyrant production plant generate little girls that sound like grown women?
Please! We've already lost Mum and Dad. You've got to help my brother. Please!
I promise. Don't cry anymore, Lily.
They never mentioned her name before this. Did he just give her one?
Lot!
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
What are you talking about? It's not your fault. Vincent is the one who caused everything. Well, I mean,
You? What do you mean? You're the detective. Your name is Ark Thompson.
What?
In other Resident Evil games, there was a simple objective or plot, and a deeper story in the background that you would see in the environment, and through various notes acquired in the field. This game has no plot without those things. If you're the guy who went through this game and got an ending, you would have no idea what the story was unless you played a million times, since there's a chance you wouldn't even get the canonical ending. That is the reason why this scene is as empty as a simp's bank account. Also, if you aren't Vincent, then why did this boy treat you like a villain? To make you run around and prolong the game's length?
The self-destruction system has been activated.
This voice acting.
That's right. At the request of my friend Leon S. Kennedy, I came here to investigate.
He refers to his friend by his full name? Even the flippin' middle initial? This dude fell from a helicopter, hit the pavement, and survived. He doesn't even have a scratch on him. Also, he could fail to kill Ark a second time. The mutated final form of Hypno-Tyrant is just him roiding out.
Get down!
This scene is so dumb, but I'll let the game have it since it's definitely unique.
What are we gonna do, mister?
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Forget this game ever existed. You might be wondering why this game is on the obscure list when it's a core game in the franchise. Because Capcom refuses to acknowledge this game exists. What was wrong with numbering a core game in the franchise? Instead, they jump from Resident Evil 3 to 4 to 5, while the player has no clue what the hell is going on with Umbrella, Wesker, Chris, or the dearly departed logic of Capcom developers. Thanks for ruining the existence of Wesker in the intro sequence, so when the reveal actually happens, it can be as disappointing as Ubisoft at E3. Hell? Why didn't they just shoot her when she stopped running? And if the whole purpose was to capture her, then why did the chopper open fire? Do you want her dead or do you want her alive? Because Umbrella is even more delusional than I thought in these games if they think they can interrogate a zombie. Uzi pistol.
Don't move.
I've never fired a gun before, so I'm going to assume she has an empty cartridge because otherwise she surrendered for no reason. This is the problem with stories where women are incarcerated on illegal grounds without anyone knowing their location. You know for damn sure a lot more went down in that prison cell than anyone cares to admit. Really? They didn't search her for anything that could be a potential threat? Also, why is she startled? She knew someone was there. Was she expecting the Easter Bunny?
I heard there's an airport around here. And once I find it, I can finally escape from this crazy island.
Why would he mention there is an airport and not go there prior? Wouldn't it be more feasible to say, I'm still looking for the airport? Because as it is, this scene implies that he was just waiting for Claire to show up. Or drinking milkshakes in a beach chair up on the guard tower.
Chris Redfield.
This will be the first of many times that Steve will show up out of nowhere without any explanation. I'm sure if developers had the time, they would just have cutscenes of him hiding in corridors or around corners just glancing at her.
Yeah! Help me!
Is there some kind of microphone in that secret closet? How did he yell so loud through multiple rooms for Claire to hear him so clearly? The only way for Alfred to miss Steve running through the foyer is if he never ran through there in the first place. The fact that these rooms are locked, it's obvious he's playing hide and seek with Claire in a cabinet somewhere.
Redfield!
This voice acting.
Be sure to keep you entertained before I dispose of you.
With the abundant number of guards I don't have. In the meantime, you can think of a plan to kick my keister and hatch an escape plan with the most disliked character in Resident Evil history. Holy shiza, this voice acting. Alfred Ashford's impression of a dolphin. As much as I rag upon Resident Evil 5, it seems pretty obvious a lot of their stupid ideas came from this game. That's a couple of fractured bones and lacerations due to shattered glass. Okay, is there some kind of underlying theme in Resident Evil games where characters must behave in unbelievably yet ironically dumb ways because I find myself repeating the same sins over and over again?
Don't worry, Claire. Your knight in shining armor is here.
If by knight in shining armor they mean a colossal man baby, I agree.
This thing is too cool. Yes! Now this is my kind of weapon. All right!
Whatever Capcom's reasons for making Steve's maturity that of a 13-year-old, they're unwittingly turning Claire into a creep. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Who brought you here and where is your family?
Shut up! I don't want to talk about it!
How can Steve be so trigger happy yet still have ammo to spare? Is he actually out of ammo? Like this scene where he's clearly hit Claire but she seems unharmed. Is everyone just role-playing out of pity? Even the zombies?
My apologies, Alexia, but I have been doing my best.
The revival of the Ashford family depends on your success, brother.
As we learn from a scene later, this is Alfred Ashford, but why is he talking to himself here? Or look like he has real breasts? I mean, sure, it pushes the narrative forward, but this scene doesn't have any more substance or purpose than that.
I was the one who attacked this island. Who'd have thought you'd be hanging about?
Not one person in the recording studio suggested a retake, huh? Okay.
I despise Chris.
Because of that kick me sign he placed on my back when I first joined the force.
Wait!
What's going on?
Steve's character is nothing more than a MacGuffin used to save Claire when she's in trouble. They might as well have just made him a dog.
Steve!
And Steve passed this portion of the game with an overall accuracy of 3.5%.
Are you okay?
In a few hours, no one will care.
So there never was an Alexia after all.
Wow, Claire, did you already forget about the recording where they were both in the same place at the same time? The company you are keeping is lowering your IQ.
What the? The cargo room hatch is open.
I'll go back and check it out.
Are you stupid? Do you want to get sucked out of the plane? This boss fight. If there are any aircraft engineers in the comments, please let me know if this is a real thing, because even with a little research, I couldn't find anything regarding a catapult cargo rail. So for now, I'll give the developers the benefit of the doubt. However, I still have to sin it because it makes no sense as to why it would have this kind of velocity. I mean, are you conveniently moving cargo or firing a railgun?
My apologies, but I cannot let you escape now.
Alfred! Cross-dressing freak!
I can see why Capcom doesn't want to remake this game. They won't want the negative PR with lines like that. Also, what the hell? Did they forget to animate his lip movements? Why did they fall asleep in the same spot? And why are developers playing this romantic music? Did they forget what game they were making? What the fuck?
Hey, where are we?
Huh?
Latitude 82.17 degrees. That's the Antarctic.
How does a 17-year-old know the geographic location of 82 degrees latitude? And why wouldn't you read the longitude? Is being in the eastern or western hemisphere irrelevant? It seems that north and south are also irrelevant because 82 degrees latitude is the Arctic Ocean. Steve and Claire survived this. This game is the reason why Capcom have never attempted romance in any of their Resident Evil games ever again. Game spends time and money on an ordinary rat cameo, which will be nothing more than an Easter egg. This game is already halfway to Parodyville. This room.
Steve! Don't forget, we'll get out of here. Together.
The fact that she talks to him like she's his mother is downright disturbing when developers keep insisting on setting up a romance here. Freaking every damn boss fight in this game, man. After Alfred falls to his death, he decides, screw it, comes back to life and wakes up Alexia.
Look, there's a snowmobile over there.
Being in the Arctic, or in their world, the Antarctic, is hardly a cause for concern in summer attire. A snowmobile that has been in frigid temperature without being in a garage is still fully operational. Developers thought, what kind of BOW can we send after Claire? One guy came up with Tentacle, and he was hailed a genius and then went on to be the lead enemy designer in Resident Evil 5. Claire and Steve survived this. And suddenly there was Chris. Chris fails epically within 30 seconds of his debut. Feel free to jump in the worm's mouth. Then we can move on to Resident Evil 4. Why not just have him drop the lighter instead of this awkward death scene? This whole section didn't even need to exist. I mean, the only important scene here is Wesker beating the hell out of Chris, which he does anyway at the North, or should I say the South Pole. Explosion designed to specifically destroy Umbrella Facility fails to destroy Umbrella Facility.
Chris, I'm sending some company to keep you entertained.
Because Hunters clearly worked so well on Chris the first time. I'm sure this time he'll just pee his pants and run.
You have no idea how much I hate you.
The seeds of hatred here are literally surface level. I mean, the entire plan in the first game was to get combat data for the Tyrant, which should have been easy enough had the Tyrant not stabbed the hell out of Wesker, which led to it getting blown the hell up. All this just to get a job with the organization, which he does anyway even without the data. This is the equivalent on beating on Chef Boyardee for ruining your soup because you found a hair in it.
Alexia?
It's nice to see developers keeping Wesker consistent at failing to kill Chris, even in the most convenient circumstances throughout the series. Nothing in this game is affected by the cold. Why even have any of this take place at the South Pole? With this callback, Code Veronica is super duper awesome. This game is no longer a generic unfair lazy pile of trash video game.
We have to find Steve.
Who's Steve?
He's a boy who escaped from that island with me. But then a monster attacked us and we got separated.
It was actually a tentacle that, instead of letting you freeze to death, dragged you guys back here and put you in 2 separate places so that Chris could rescue you, and you in turn could have that weeping session over Steve's dead body after he tries to kill you. Developers break up a Chris and Claire partnership, so the only brother-sister team-up we get is in the crappy live-action remake and The Confessions of a Man-Baby.
Claire!
What the hell? Why did he retain his intelligence? Why did he return back to normal? Why did he die? Ugh, forget it. Meanwhile, on events people actually care about, what is this magical flaming blood bullcrap? Wow, developers, I don't even get access to an item box before a boss fight? Whoa, Wesker, are you sure you're not overlooking Chris's DNA? I mean, the guy never seems to take any damage no matter how much of a beating he takes. Chris gets blasted out of the elevator, lands on the plane, and decides no pain, no gain, and switches to steroids. And Claire was never heard of for the next 15 years until Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is basically just this game again.
Please promise that you won't leave me alone again.
I'm sorry, Claire, but it's not over yet. There's still something we've got to do.
You mean...
Yeah, it's payback time. We've got to destroy Umbrella. Now. Let's finish this once and for all!
I guess stopping Umbrella took less than a week. This is supposed to be Wesker's first re-emergence since Resident Evil 1. Why would they want to make him look weak? How is anyone supposed to think that Wesker is an impressive agent with enhanced BOW abilities when he's getting wrecked by this? The guy runs in every battle he's in. Does he have PTSD from tyrant stabbings?